to our Coach's Corner for October 11th. I'm joined by head women's soccer coach Eric Faulconer to talk about the number 8 ranked Pirates action last week, as well as a look at the upcoming week of action. And Coach, if I had told you last week that you would have split matches last week, conventional wisdom would have said you would have won on Wednesday at Georgia College and lost on Saturday against number 3 Columbus State, but the exact opposite happened this week. Talk about the 2 matches this week.
I guess history would probably indicate that Georgia College had not beaten us in that series, and we had not defeated Columbus State. So I guess that would be true to look at that way. But Wednesday, we're disappointed. We played well. I thought we played hard, but the biggest thing that couldn't happen was to fall behind a team that's very good defensively and has a very solid goalkeeper. And second half, I thought we dominated the play. We were unable to find the net, and Georgia College took advantage of 2 mistakes I felt that we made that helped lead to their goals, but in the end they were able to put those into the net, and we were unable to capitalize on some things that they allowed us to do. So it was a disappointing loss, but I think we learned a lot about ourselves that after the game we found out we have a lot of leadership on this team, and people stepped up and said this is not an acceptable performance. We should have came into Georgia College and have won and win the game, but we didn't do that. The bus trip back, where it was quiet. It was quiet all the way back to Savannah, and so I kind of got off there saying, you know what, we're going to put this behind us, and we have a chance to make right on Saturday.
So on Saturday, Coach, you had number 3 ranked Columbus State come into Savannah, a team that had given up just 1 goal all season long through 10 matches. You get 2 in the win over the Cougars. Talk about how big of a win that was.
Well, it was a huge win because of what happened on Wednesday. Our goal simply going into this season was to win the regular season conference championship, and we knew if we lost another game that's not likely to happen. So it was a kind of a must-win for us. So it's hard when a must-win's Columbus State, but it's always a big game. But for the first time, it really felt like we had to get that result. And it's funny looking in that locker room in years past. I felt like we could win the game. Obviously, I felt like the players thought they could win the game. But the look on our players on Saturday before we left the locker room to go out on the field, I was really confident. You could look around that room, and there was no fear in their eyes. They knew what they had to go out and get done, and we have a lot of respect for Columbus State and what Coach Jay Entlick has done, and obviously they are off to a great start this season. I think the only goal they gave up this season was a late goal against Carson Newman in a 6-1 game. So, to put 2 past them, feels pretty good. But our players worked really hard, to get that result. I think, Chad, for a couple things you have to beat a good opponent, you have to have great goalkeeping. I thought Tracy Mitchell, when needed, made the big saves. Defensively, I thought we weathered some storms in there, and Columbus put you under so much pressure, and it shows you so many different looks, different types of forwards. Some are quick, some are more technical, but it's hard defending that because in most games you only see 2 or 3 of the same forwards. That game you may have seen 6 or 7. I thought our back line, with Carrie Patterson and Amber Rainey, Kelly Barr, Larissa Anderson, and Brooke Lamberth, and coming in and off the bench and giving us some great minutes there. Defensively, we were very solid. Our midfield played very well. They won a lot of balls in the midfield. I was really excited about what they were able to do. We were able to possess when we needed to possess, and tactically make some changes, and they adjusted to later in the game. And then our forwards, their first goal, what a great play by Jordan Otto to beat 2 defenders to get the cross off, and she puts it far enough away from the keeper where Danny Fay can make a play on it, and that's probably the goal of the lifetime for Danny. I'm so happy for her because Danny's one of those players who works so hard on her game. She's always working, and to get that goal in that game, it just shows you what that hard work and dedication pays off. But a back heel, I guess it ended up being right over the top of the keeper. But that was a huge momentum lift right before the half. And then in the second half, they came after us, but I felt like we were able to still put them under pressure. They couldn't push too many numbers forward because we were still being able to get numbers forward ourselves at times and counterattack when needed. And then we kind of, the last 20 minutes, decided we'll absorb a little bit of their attack and see if we can hit them on the counter. And then Erin Holt there at the end did exactly that. that, with a great shot, beating the keeper, looked like it was going to go in, hits off the crossbar, but Christina Pascotti, doing something we preach all the time, is following in the shots. It was able to seal the win. So, the last couple of minutes there, we've sat through a lot of those, Chad, where we were up leading in that game, and they would always find a way. And on Saturday we were able to hold them off and then finish it.
Not a lot of action left in the regular season. You do have 2 matches this week. You go to Queens for a region match, and then you have another ranked team come into Savannah on Saturday as North Georgia comes in ranked 25th as of this taping. Talk about the 2 matches this week.
Well, Queens is someone we play pretty much every year, and we have to go up there and play on their artificial turf field, and it's not the easiest place to play, and they're having a decent season, so we got to remain focused on the task at hand on Tuesday, and a non-conference game, but a region game, and those are always very, very important. So I know the team knows that, they think what we've accomplished, on Saturday, we need to make sure we take care of business and learn from our mistakes of last Wednesday. And then North Georgia is having a fantastic year. A lot of return the majority of their team from last season. They've added some key components. They are right there in the mix, for the Peach Belt race, and I feel like it's going to be another big game. So it doesn't get any easier. But as I told my players, I said, we need some help. Georgia College, it doesn't have a loss, so far in conference play, but they have a lot of big games to play. But we can control what we can control. So, hopefully, on Saturday we can take care of North Georgia. They've had our number, last 2 of the last 3 games. So it's not going to be easy by any stretch of imagination. Chris Adams has done a fantastic job with that program, and really, bringing them right up there with, with Armstrong and Columbus State. North Georgia is right there now, and it's going to be an interesting few weeks in the Peach Belt for sure.
All right, well, good luck this week, and we'll talk to you again next week after the Pirates take on Queens and North Georgia.